Rick Fabiano, clinical child psychologist. I'm one of the developers of the Coaches program, and we've used it successfully both in clinic settings and in preschool settings. We're excited to be able to use it in elementary schools now with you. Welcome to the Coaches program. We're very excited to work with you and your child. Coaches is a special kind of school-based program where you and your child are going to learn a whole set of skills that we hope are going to help your child be more successful in school. We expect that you will also collaborate with your child's teacher to help increase communication and also your child's success in the classroom-based setting. Each week you'll spend the first part of the program meeting with other parents and learning a new strategy. The kids at that time are working with other kids to learn soccer skills, how to dribble, shoot, pass, the rules of the game. Then you'll join together with your child and you'll get to participate in a soccer game with them. One thing that's important to note up front is there are different ways to approach youth sports. One is the win-at-all-costs model. In that model, the only thing that matters is whether the child wins or loses at the end of the game. We're not using that approach in our Coaches program. One other way to think about youth sports is that they're a place to really foster appropriate development. It's a place where children not only can have fun engaging in the athletics, but they can learn a number of other things, like how to take directions from adults, how to function well together as a team, how to deal with successes and also failure in an appropriate way, and also work together towards a shared team goal. In the Coaches program, we're going to be focusing much more on your child's effective development with the hope that that translates into improvements in the home, neighborhood, and classroom. Every behavior a child has. Ones we want to see more of, like sharing, cooperating, completing homework or seat work, and behaviors we want to see less of. Teasing or name calling, complaining or whining, not producing work in school, has what we call an antecedent. That is something that comes before it that triggers that behavior. Every behavior also has a consequence, something that comes after it. And it's important to note that consequences can be positive, things like a reward or a pat on the back, or they could be negative, losing a privilege or being put in timeout. These antecedents, behaviors, and consequences, A, B's, and C's, are really what guide our thinking about the best ways to support and manage children's behavior. In our program, we're going to be focusing very carefully on the A's and the C's because those really work together to get us the behaviors or the B's that we want to achieve. Let's look at an example.
Hey buddy, it's time to pick up your toys now. Oh, you're doing such a good job putting your toys away. Thanks for doing that, buddy. Thanks for listening.
What do you think was the antecedent of that behavior?
Hey buddy, it's time to pick up your toys now. Oh, you're doing such a good job putting your toys away. Thanks for doing that, buddy. Thanks for listening.
What do you think was the consequence of that behavior?
Oh, you're doing such a good job putting your toys away. Thanks for doing that, buddy. Thanks for listening.
It's important to think about antecedents and consequences because they often work together not only in one instance but over time and over days to create the sorts of behaviors that children do that we want to see more of and the behaviors that sometimes happen that we want to see less of.
Time to stop playing.
No, I want to keep playing.
I said it's time to stop now. You know, fine, do whatever you want.
Think about what might happen to the family in the first video if that's the sort of interaction you saw over days or weeks, versus the family in the second video if that was what was happening in that household over days or weeks. Today we're going to talk about how you can manage antecedents and consequences across an entire school day for your child. The way we're going to do this is with what's called a daily report card, or DRC. The daily report card works by managing antecedents up front. The teacher and parent work together to set a few goals for the child that they're expected to meet throughout the day. They might include finishing work within the time given, they might include following class rules, but the child, the teacher, and the parent all agree upon these goals ahead of time and know what they are. Those are antecedents. The daily report card also includes consequences. The child earns privileges or rewards at the end of the day at home for meeting goals on the DRC. This way, the antecedents, knowledge of the expectations, lead to the behaviors, meeting those expectations, followed by consequences. The child earns rewards or privileges based on their performance. Importantly, the daily report card is a reward-based system. The child is working up towards earning these privileges across the day. They're not losing things at the end of the day for misbehavior or failure. Here's an example of what a DRC might look like. It will remain up on the screen while your facilitator passes out the parent workbooks. As you turn to the page on daily report cards, you'll see a list of goals other parents have found useful with their child in other classes or other settings. Take a few moments to think about what goals might be appropriate for your child. One important aspect of the daily report card is that it provides a way for you to communicate about your child's progress each day with the teacher. In fact, the first thing you're going to need to do is reach out to the teacher and explain that you'd like to start a daily report card system. Let's take a look at how one parent is doing that.
Hello, Mrs. O'Connor. Yes, this is Josh's dad. Yeah, we're trying to get started with this a daily report card. You've heard of it? Oh, great. As you know, based on our last conversation, he's been struggling with getting his homework turned in, and yeah. His mom and I had a conversation, and we thought it would be good for him if we could have him turn his homework in every morning before the bell. I mean, we thought that might be a great goal for him, and what do you think about that? Okay. Well, okay, great. We'll send it with him tomorrow, and we'll have instructions for you to sign off on, and yes. Okay, yeah, every day, and we'll talk to him about the rewards. Yes. Well, thank you very much.
Take a few moments to think about how you might reach out to your child's teacher to set up a daily report card. As you're discussing this, think about what are some challenges you might face reaching out to your teacher in this way, and what are some things you might think about ahead of time to say to help make sure this gets off on the right foot. One of the most important parts of the DRC is the home-based reward system. Without any rewards attached to meeting these goals, the daily report card is simply a piece of paper that gets transferred from the teacher to the parent each day. These rewards are what increase your child's motivation to meet the goals, and so it's your job to think about what would be really rewarding for your child. Rewards should be items, activities, or privileges that you and the child have access to each evening, because remember, this is a daily report card. Think about things that your child considers as a right, the ability to turn on the TV anytime they want or go to bed anytime they choose, that you can now make a privilege based on their performance on the daily report card during the day. Daily report card rewards don't need to be big ticket items like a new bike or a new video game. That's not practical to do on a daily basis over long periods of time. Think about things that you can control each evening that the child will be motivated to earn, that you can then take away the next morning and put them in the next earning situation. Now take some time to think about what rewards you might use for the daily report card. In this example, rewards are the consequence for the behavior on your child's daily report card. Importantly, you have to think about rewards that would work for you, would be motivating for your child, and could be repeated across a number of days. Now that you've set up your daily report card, it's important to remember that it is really like a contract. The teacher has signed on to agree to monitor your child's behavior throughout the day, give them feedback on how they're doing, and then send that home to you as a parent. The child signed on to work as hard as they possibly can to meet those goals each and every day. And then your role as a parent is to make sure that you take time to review that daily report card each day with your child and provide the rewards based on performance. If they had a good day and they've earned their rewards, well, you have to make sure that they get them. If they haven't had a great day, if it was a little rocky, well, then they shouldn't get the rewards just that day. And then the next day they again have their clean slate working up towards those rewards again.
Wow, you were really well behaved today. Your teacher said you finished all your work, and Mom told me you did your chores, and you got along with your sister.
You said maybe if I followed all the rules, maybe we could get ice cream.
I know, but it's like super late, and we don't really have time to go out tonight. Besides, you're supposed to do this stuff anyways.
This week, talk about what you learned with anyone else working with you to help this child be successful in school and at home. Also, reach out to the teacher and figure out how to get a daily report card started. Bring back whatever you've accomplished to the next meeting, and we'll go from there. When you head over to your child's soccer game, you're going to find out that your child has a daily report card for their time with us here. It's your job when you head down to the child activities to review the daily report card with your child, how they've done so far during the skills, and to prompt them that they need to continue to have appropriate behavior during the game. Also remind them what they can earn, because that's what children are really motivated by.